Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. We have a treat for you. We have compiled 15 of the dumbest dumb criminals throughout the year, all conveniently located in one location right here for you. Enjoy. These two just should have got a room. Please meet Tisha Booth and Keisha Edom. We'll give them the presumption of innocence, but apparently these two women were on a road trip to reconcile their relationship when they exited Interstate 85 in Livonia, Georgia last week. Now, apparently the duo stopped at about 7 p.m. to make a pit stop, and the police then received a report of an indecent exposure at the rear of the Raceway gas station. Police responded, located the white female on top of a black female, and each of them had their pants pulled down, exposing their pelvic regions. The suspects were found on a patch of grass between the Raceway and the McDonald's restaurant in public view, according to law enforcement. Now, Miss Booth, 49, and Miss Edom, 37, were arrested and booked for public indecency, and they were in the county jail. And in a recent Facebook post, police recommended that if individuals were tempted to reconcile your relationship with your lifelong partner, get a room. How many times have I said that? Get a room. Anyway, Miss Booth resides in South Carolina. Miss Edom, a resident of the great state of Georgia. Ladies, get a room. Nobody cares what you do, how you do it, a little bit where you do it. So you probably should get a room. When in doubt, get a room. A police officer who works for the Florida Correctional Institution down there, I guess their Department of Corrections, has been arrested after deputies say he called 911 because he was upset that he got a ticket for repeatedly honking his horn while driving. So a deputy who was on parole saw Douglas Morris driving a red Jeep in the area of the highway where the cop was on patrol on Sunday. The deputy pulled Mr. Morris over and said Morris claimed to be honking his horn because it makes him drive faster. The deputy added that after writing Morris a citation for the violation, he became upset and verbally abusive and then decided to call 911. The sheriff's office said that's when the deputies took control of Morris's arm to escort him out of the Jeep, whereupon, of course, he resisted. Therefore, now he's arrested for misuse of 911 and resisting arrest. Well, the staff at the Florida Department of Corrections were notified of the arrest, and they put out a statement that said, "We expect more professional behavior from those who work in the public safety industry." Do you notice they call it an industry? The statement continues saying, "Dialing 911 because you are upset that you receive a traffic citation is not only ridiculous, it ties up an emergency line and resources designated for those with true emergencies." When the deputies asked him to hang up, Morris refused, saying he did not agree with the citation. Unbelievable. Mr. Morris, you are a dumb criminal of the day. First of all, honking your horn makes you drive faster. Second, you get pulled over, you call 911, complain about it. Are you kidding me? Yes. A Wisconsin man who rushed the stage at his daughter's high school graduation to keep her from shaking the hand of an administrator was charged today for disorderly conduct. Now, apparently Matthew Eddy disrupted the ceremony at the Baraboo High School moments after his daughter Elsie's name was announced. She collected her diploma and then began shaking hands with everybody on the stage, which is quite customary. Well, in the police interview, Mr. Eddy claimed that he and his daughter had past issues with Rainey Biggs, the person he didn't want his daughter shaking hands with, over some sort of dissatisfaction over an administrative proceeding of some type. Anyway, when all the interviews were done, apparently the father said something to the effect of, "You're not going to shake my daughter's effing hand," and push Mr. Biggs away. So now the dad has been charged. Now, I would think that if you didn't like an administrator, she could just not do it. I don't think dad needs to rush up there on the stage. That's kind of dumb. And you would think if you didn't get along with that administrator, you'd be like, yeah, shake your hand and be like, told ya. Anyway, Mr. Eddy, you are a dumb criminal of the day. Take a look at this video. 5 armed suspects picked up the wrong target in Houston. An armored truck crew fought back after a heavy gunfight took place during an ATM refill. When the getaway driver bailed, leaving 4 of his buddies behind, they carjacked a woman's car in quite the panic mode. Police found both ditched vehicles nearby, but the crew slipped away. Now, this all took place about 3:30 in the afternoon. And fortunately, the shootout ended with no one getting injured. But these guys all look like a bunch of amateurs, and they learned the hard way. Oh, yeah, that's right. Armored truck crew drivers, they're armed, and they shoot back. Please meet Samantha Steel. Now, she is a lawmaker, a Democrat from Evanston, Illinois, and is facing charges for driving under the influence after crashing her car into another car on Sunday evening. Now, Ms. Steel admitted to the crash and showed signs of indicia of intoxication, which included bloodshot, watery eyes, a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage. Officers also found an open bottle of red wine in her car, and despite being asked to perform field sobriety tests, she refused and demanded a lawyer. Now, during her arrest, she repeatedly mocked the arresting officer, asking if his penis is that small. This is not Miss Steele's first controversy she's been involved in. She's also facing a whistleblower lawsuit filed by a former aide, Frank Calabrese, who accused her of pressuring him to engage in political activity and leaking confidential information about a property tax appeal related to the Chicago Bears. Now, Miss Steel was also criticized for giving a job to a convicted politician and for her handling of the Bears tax situation. Now, she is scheduled to appear in court for her DUI charge on December 27th. Merry Christmas, Miss Steel. Little words of advice here. You are doing the right stuff, not admitted to drinking, refusing the roadside sobriety tests. But when you start attacking the police officer, that's going into the police report. And guess what? The prosecutor, not going to be happy. You know who else is not going to be happy? The judge. And if you're going to tell the police officer something, say, you're terrible at your job, you're fat, you're skinny, something along those lines. You're an idiot. Don't question his size of his penis. Bad. Guess what? A Florida man, shocking, accused of trying to steal a generator that powered a traffic light. That's right. So a man is now in custody behind bars after he attempted to steal a generator that was powering a traffic signal in the wake of Hurricane Milton. Now, according to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, the incident happened Sunday in Sun City, where the Tampa Electric Company workers caught Soyal Zapata Dai unhooking the power-producing generator. And although Zapata Dai left the scene, one of the workers took a photograph of him and his license plate, where ultimately the deputies caught up with him at his house a short time later. He was arrested, and he's been charged with third-degree theft. He should be charged with some sort of looting. And you know what we do to looters in times of crises? Yes, that's right. That's right. Could be much more severe than going to jail on a third-degree theft charge. An Oklahoma woman is accusing an employee at a phone repair store of sending a private video from her device to his. Now, the woman says that she took her phone to have her broken screen repaired and gave it the cell phone as well as the passcode to an employee by the name of Kayan Altun so that he could do the repairs. He apparently was also the manager. He told the lady that it would take about 30 minutes. So the woman then said that she went to the food court and worked on her laptop while she was waiting. While on her laptop, the woman said that she received a conversation notification, and when she looked at her message, she saw a video had been sent from her phone number to a number that she did not recognize. It was a video of the woman undressed and had been sent to a random phone number, according to the woman. Obviously, she was shocked and surprised. And then the woman said that the text had been deleted when she picked up her phone, but that the message was still visible on her laptop. So she said the video was sent in her hidden folder in the photo app on her phone that had been there at least for 2 years. The folder required a passcode that was the same as that she had given to Mr. Altoon to get into her phone. Well, Mr. Altoon was quite calm and composed when he gave the phone back to her. And the woman then said, he hands me this business card and it has his name and phone number on it. And it says to call him or text him if you got any more problems. The woman said after looking at the business card, she immediately recognized the uncommon area code that was on the business card, and later confirmed that that was where the video was sent. Anyway, when the police were investigating, an officer made contact with Mr. Altoon and called the phone number that the message had been sent to. When the officer called the number in front of Mr. Altoon, guess whose phone rang? That's right, Mr. Altoon. Needless to say, Mr. Altoon was arrested for theft and computer crimes and has posted bond. No word on when his next court date will be. Ladies and gentlemen, the phone, man, it doesn't forget. And if you're going to be creeping in somebody's phone that you're supposedly working on and you're going to send images, have at least enough sense to send it to a burner phone, for God's sakes, Mr. Altoon. That's why you are our dumb criminal of the day. Or better yet, Mr. Altoon, just do your job and don't go around creeping in other people's private stuff on their phones, right? They have an expectation of privacy there. All right. A Tennessee mom has been arrested after posting photos of her, wait for it, 5-year-old daughter helping her give semi-naked women bikini waxes. Now, the beautician is Jasmine Moss, and she was arrested on Monday and charged with child neglect and child abuse after the police received several complaints about the photos of these body waxes on her professional Instagram page. They showed a young girl working on women naked from the waist down, including one leaning back with her legs spread as the girl appeared to work on her private areas. Another photo showed the youngster wearing gloves while working on the prone woman's naked crotch. In her post that's since been deleted, Moss claimed her daughter worked on 24 clients over about 8 hours. As the photo began to spread online last Thursday, the Memphis Police Department started to receive complaints about the child being exposed to naked women, and people saying that they should not share the screenshot anymore. Of course, when something like this happens, everybody's an expert, but anestheticians are saying that it is beyond inappropriate and waxing is too dangerous for a young child because apparently you can burn yourself. Having never received a wax, I didn't know you could burn yourself because I thought they were like pulling the hair off with tape or something to that effect. I don't know. Anyway, Ms. Moss was released on her own recognizance following her appearance in court this morning, and the Memphis Police Department is continuing their investigation with the Child Protective Service organization there in Tennessee. Anyway, Ms. Moss, I guess it's always good to instill a strong work ethic in your kids at a young age, although I'm not sure that that's necessarily the right place to do it. And I guess if you were going to do it, you probably shouldn't post it online. You know, we've always said don't live stream the crime scene, but listen, if it just doesn't feel right, you probably don't want to make photos of it. Just saying. Anyway, Miss Moss, you are a dumb criminal of the day. So a man was arrested after attacking deputies who had contacted him to pick up his child who was detained for trespassing at a local Walmart. So here's the story. This past Saturday, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office responded to multiple reports of a group of juveniles causing disturbances inside a Walmart. The juveniles, who are all under 16, were apparently riding bikes through the store, yelling, cursing at customers, and setting off car alarms. Seems like a nice bunch of kids, doesn't it? Anyway, the deputies recognized several of the teens and contacted their parents. One of the parents was a guy by the name of Jonah Harrington that lives in Palm Coast, Florida. When he arrived, he immediately confronted law enforcement. Harrington ran up to a deputy and shoved him, and when two other deputies tried to detain him, Harrington struck one officer on the hand and resisting the efforts of the third deputy to secure him in handcuffs. Completely ignoring commands to cooperate, Harrington attempted to flee, but was quickly apprehended after a brief struggle, according to the sheriff, who said, "We all know the apple doesn't fall far from the tree here. We asked parents to pick up their children because they were causing trouble, but this parent chose to attack our deputies instead." So now Mr. Harrington, instead of just picking up his kid and then disciplining his kid and saying, "If you ever behave that way in public again, you're going to want the sheriff to be there because I am going to inflict great bodily harm against you." But no, Mr. Harrington chose to do the complete opposite. And Mr. Harrington was arrested and charged with 3 counts of battery on law enforcement officers and aggravated assault and resisting arrest with violence. And he's been taken to the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility where he is going to be released on a bond. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your kids right. My parents always told me anyone had permission when I was growing up to discipline me if I was misbehaving. Well, we don't do that today. Now we attack police officers who are trying to give your kid a break for acting like an idiot in a Walmart. Unbelievable. Sir, Mr. Harrington, you are the dumb criminal of the day. That's right. You know it. Another food attack. Why is this so prevalent throughout the entire country? Well, our story today brings us to a 21-year-old woman who is angry that her sister would not share the food that she brought home. Today's dumb criminal involves a 21-year-old woman who is angry with her sister because she wouldn't share the food that her sister brought home. And guess what? She was arrested in a ravioli battery charge. Police say that Nakia Davis got mad at her blood-related sister after the victim did not allow the defendant to have any of the food. Anyway, the upset sister, police allege, retaliated by throwing a plate of raviolis at the sister. And when the police arrived, the victim still had sauce from the raviolis on her. Now, Miss David reportedly admitted to the ravioli tossing, which was witnessed by the victim's boyfriend. Well, guess what? She has been charged with domestic battery because most domestic violence statutes include family members as well. It's not just an intimate partner. Anyway, yes, it is only a misdemeanor charge, and Miss Davis had to spend the night in the jail before being released on her own recognizance. But guess what? She can't go home and she can't talk to her sister because it's a gateway crime, ladies and gentlemen. You start throwing ravioli at your sister for not sharing the food that she and her boyfriend brought home, it's causing problems. Next thing you know, probably going to be chopped up, put in the basement. You just never know where it's going to end. It's a gateway crime, ladies and gentlemen. Please meet Felipe Jesus Gutierrez of Winter Haven, Florida. Well, he's got himself in a bit of a pickle here. On Sunday night, the Polk County Sheriff's Office received a call from the Superway Food Mart reporting a disturbance caused by a man who had previously stolen from the store. Well, on this particular occasion, the store employee was a little exasperated, told the deputy that the Gutierrez man is a frequent shoplifter with a unique modus operandi. When he does pay, he throws the incorrect amount of money onto the counter and then leaves. This time, however, the object of Gutierrez's desires was a jar of pickles. Having reached their boiling point, the store owners decided to press charges this time. Well, when the police arrived, guess what? The deputy quickly located and apprehended Mr. Gutierrez, who quipped, "Oh, am I going to jail as a pickle thief?" Well, as it turns out, yes, he is. He was booked in as the Pickle Thief, and he has a long rap sheet dating back to 2010. And due to his prior convictions, the pickle pilfering escapades have landed him with a felony charge. It's all fun and games, ladies and gentlemen, until the pickle police show up. Just when we think we're getting smarter, we dumb it down a little bit with our dumb criminal of the day. And not that you all are dumb. You all are brilliant. You are CrimeTalk aficionados. You know what you're talking about. I think we get a little dumber every time we hear of a dumb criminal of the day just because what they do is so stupid. All right. Nobody hates commercial air travel more than I do. And I don't want to sound like a snob. I'm just telling you, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But I've never been this frustrated as take a look at this guy. This is a United Airlines passenger, and he had to be restrained by his fellow flyers after he began assaulting the chair. Now, this flight occurred on November 16th on United Airlines Flight 502 from Austin to Los Angeles. And apparently a fellow passenger who filmed the incident claimed that he awoke to see this unidentified passenger kicking the seat just about an hour from touching down at LAX. Initially, apparently nobody tried to intervene. The flight attendant actually walked by and no one was doing anything. But apparently at some point, someone finally decided to stop this attack of the seat. So two other passengers then zip-tied the miscreant and his hands and feet and seat belted him in his seat so he could stop attacking the seat. Needless to say, upon landing at LAX, the unidentified seat attacker was met by police. He was immediately banned from all future United flights. And anyway, the rest was a happy ending. Austin to LA, was that hour and a half flight at most? Really? And you had to start attacking the seat? Nobody knows exactly why the unidentified man tried attacking the seat. Some people speculate that maybe there was a crying baby behind him. I don't know. Maybe someone told him to, could you please put your seat up forward? It looks like it's a little farther back in the plane, not as much legroom. Just another reason to hate commercial air travel. All right, I'm 6'3". I need my legroom. All right? Hate commercial air travel. Hate it, hate it, hate it. And then you have to deal with crap like this. And finally, take a look at this. This video went viral from Waco, Texas. It shows a group of thieves working together to yank an ATM out of a Waco convenience store. Now, obviously, as you can see from the video, these three men in the video were using a stolen truck out of Waco, Texas. The stolen ATM and car used in that theft were found dumped nearby later that day. And as you can see, the dumb criminals didn't get away with anything, but they got arrested. A Florida man was recently busted after trying to evade arrest by hiding out in his attic. Turns out, apparently got a little warm up there. The incident happened in the Palm Coast area there in Florida. And like I said, the police went to Mr. Michael Allison's house because they were looking for him for a warrant. They see him go into the house. They knock on the door, but he's apparently nowhere to be found. Well, it was determined that he was hiding up in the rafters in his home in Florida, and he ultimately came down a little dehydrated. What can you do, ladies and gentlemen? What can you do? Our dumb criminal of the day. Mr. Allison, you are a dumb criminal of the day. Should have just turned yourself in. I got a better idea. Just do the probation. Follow the rules. Jump through hoops backwards with bells on and get off of probation early because you're such a fine candidate that can follow the rules. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Now, police were summoned Tuesday night to Body Talk. Apparently, Body Talk is an adult entertainment club in Florida. And what were they there to investigate an alleged assault on a male customer. Now, the victim, a guy by the name of John McKelvey, told police that he was talking to several employees of the adult entertainment establishment about his career and acknowledged that the women were a little upset that they weren't providing any tips. Now, Mr. McKelvey, apparently ignorant of strip club etiquette, said that he didn't see any signs stating that it was mandatory to tip. Anyway, the employees were upset that the victim was not giving money, which is a common practice in these establishments. And a friend of Mr. McKelvey's told police that he was drunk and he had been talking about having a lot of money and not wanting to provide a tip. So at about 9 p.m., there was a confrontation with Victoria Jones, an adult entertainer. Now, Ms. Jones told the sheriff deputies that Mr. McKelvey was drunk and being rude and had been following employees from table to table, verbally insulting them. Jones then told the police that she picked up a small stack of money and threw it towards the victim, who was struck in the face with the cash. The cash tossed was apparently not in an aggressive manner, adding that this is a place where money is thrown everywhere. Good point. Anyway, court records do not indicate what capacity Jones works at the Body Talk or how many singles were allegedly involved in the crime. Now, Mr. McKelvey's friend told investigators he observed Jones take money and slap the victim with it. The video at the club shows Jones and McKelvey exchanging words before Jones hits the man with the cash and follows up with an open hand strike. Oh, he always knew there's more to the story, right? The first version is never the truth. Wasn't just money, there was a hand strike. Anyway, guess what? Miss Jones arrested for battery. Thank God it's only a misdemeanor and that the money was not deemed to be a deadly weapon. Needless to say, she was released from jail after posting a $500 bond, and she has an arraignment March. Now, Mr. McKelvey, dude, you should be just as much of you're a dumb victim of the day. I think it's pretty much common knowledge when you go to a strip club that they only talk to you if you are giving tips, and if you don't, well, they don't want to talk with you. But Miss Jones, you can't hit people, and you certainly can't hit them with a slap to the face. Maybe Mr. McKelvey, once he sobers up, will realize the errors of his way and realize that he made it into the World Wide Web. And who knows, maybe he won't show up for the trial of Miss Jones, who was probably defending herself. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more, Miss Jones. Not that I'm giving you legal advice, but just saying.